Greetings, programs! How was everyone this evening? Back to Palworld. Last time we did pretty much everything that there was to do in Palworld. There is very little left for us to accomplish, so today is probably going to be kind of a short stream while we wrap up some loose ends. Not a lot news-wise, though I am finishing up a lot of work that I had in not only prepping for Palworld, but prepping for Cult of the Lamb, prepping for Doll's Nest. There's a lot of prepping for Cassette Beast. There's been a lot of prep work that I've been doing lately, and I have recently finished pretty much all of it, which means I can maybe actually get to work on other things. I've actually been doing a lot of research, I guess you could say. Research on things that I want to do game dev-wise. So I'm crossing my fingers that for once I can actually get back to game dev. A stiff neck and a headache. So last weekend on Saturday, me and Barry planted a tree, and we discovered that the yard is pretty much just clay. Before we started, our neighbor offered us, like, hey, do you want to borrow a pickaxe? And we're like, good joke. We're just digging a hole in the yard for a tree. We're not mining rocks or anything. And, like, we were, like, 3 inches down going, we should have taken that pickaxe. So we were sore. We got it dug. We were sore. It took us forever. It's like digging through rock. Hope that tree's gonna be fine. Anyway, all said and done. I'm excited for a weekend, excited for a chance to rest. I may not get to rest too much, though, because I'm going to be getting my flu shot tomorrow. And flu shot always lays me out. Well, it's COVID shot more than anything else, but it lays me out. It's like for one day, I am sick as a dog. And then, like, I wake up the next day right as rain. So I'm excited to feel like poop. Alright, so Palworld. Let's take a look at what we got. And away they go. And they're just gonna be sleeping there, I guess. Sometimes it be like that. Okay, so what have I done since last time? Last time we unlocked up to, or we had unlocked up to level 60. So I started unlocking the new stuff beyond that. So we unlocked the fishing magnet, which lets us get coralum. We made some coralum ingots. We also have the advanced workshop, advanced weapon assembly line. new structure set, new weapons, the overheat rifle and the charge rifle, and even a new spring style improved over what we had prior. So I think last time about all I did was make an amount of coralum. I really have 0 coralum ore. How about that? I think it was mostly just that. But I did then go to the trouble of making the other assembly lines. So we now have all of the assembly lines made. I don't think they really offered much additionally as far as unlocking new recipes and things. Like, it may have been needed for the ultra grappling gun. Then the new weapons bench, which this is where you go to make the... There's only 2 of them, but to make the 2 new weapons. Charge rifle and the overheat rifle. So got these made. Yeah, that's those made. Got the assembly lines made. So I did a little bit of research into PAL beds and what they're doing and how they work. And these PAL capsules are just PAL beds, but better. Like, each one of the PAL beds will heal or rest or restore sanity at a slightly better rate. And at the end of the day, these are just the best beds. So all beds have been replaced with PAL capsules. It's not just a healing thing. They're just better. And then down below, we have these new Japanese-style hot springs, which have replaced our old hot springs. They're the same thing, just very slightly better. And the upside is that these now no longer poke through the ceiling. So we don't have leaves everywhere up here. We do still have this little bit of wall, which is kind of awkward, but I don't really know what to do about that. I suppose I could remove it and put in, like... waist-high wall or something going the whole length across. I don't know. Not too concerned about it. Yeah, so that is everything fixed up. So base is doing really well in that regard. I did also have the schematics for the legendary overheat rifle and charge rifle. So I went ahead and made those. That's what I got here. So this is the overheat rifle. Overheat rifle is neat because you never have to reload. You do, however, have to actually watch the heat gauge. So as you fire, it fills up. As you stop, it goes down. You can just fire forever, as long as you wait for that to cool down. If you do overheat with it, there is a brief reload animation. And then there's the charge rifle, which is effectively your single-shot sniper rifle. You fire with this thing, and you have to charge it up before it fires. If you just tap, nothing happens. So you have to charge it up and let it fire. Does good damage, though. Good range, good damage. It is, however, not quick, because you have to charge it up. He's just unconscious, it's fine. And there is no AoE on either of these, which means it is still beneficial to have a rocket launcher. Because my typical farming method and dealing with a lot of the stuff on the oil rigs involve massing a bunch of enemies together. And there's no easy way to take them out with either of these weapons, good as they may be. Ow, ow, ow. So you still need a rocket launcher, you can't do stuff like that. But the upside is if you only have one guy. And then for general purpose, hey, you just gotta shoot a guy real quick. That's where the overheat comes in. As of right now, these are the most powerful weapons in the game. Legendary versions of them, so it is... We are set on weapons and armor, because I went to the trouble of getting the legendary... lightweight hexalite armor. I talked about that last time. Involved farming an oil rig forever and a half. So we are set. Is game audio delayed? Is it? It seems fine as far as I can tell. Sounds really delayed. Well, poop. That's a new one. Do I have anything else open? Not really, no. Let's just restart the game. I've seen lag before, but not like that. Yeah, at least on my end, everything seems fine. If it is not, I have no idea how to resolve this problem. We may just have to live with it for now. Hey, there's some guy. Game audio still sounds delayed. If there is anything else to be done, I do not know what it is. Especially if, like, I'm not delayed, but the game is. That's even weirder. Well, regardless. So, weapon and equipment wise, we are good. I have max level, and I've maxed out all my stats, so character is good. Now, what I have done otherwise is try to get the base set up as well as can be set up. So, for starters, I found as many Lifamunk effigies as I could. There are more than required. I still needed like 10 though, so I just kind of flew around until I found 10. So we are now maxed out on Lifamunk effigies. Capture power is capped. I am also maxed out on base level. The last couple levels were things that I was doing anyway, which is just like, you build the stuff that you're unlocking. It's like, hey, build that thing you keep unlocking. And I did. And it was unlocked. What are you carrying? Why do you have oil up here? Yeah, so that was done. That was done. I spent an obscene amount of time capping all of our research out. So research is 100% done. There's nothing left to unlock, technology-wise, except for one thing, which you saw earlier, down at the bottom, and we're beginning that today. So, like, that's everything. Everything unlocked, everything built. This one thing remains, and that, we'll get to that. Now, in order to do this, to get the final rank, you do need someone with that trait at level 4. And there are a choice few pals that actually have that trait at level 4. So I've shuffled around our base members a little bit. So now everyone in here doing their respective task is in fact level 4 in that task. So we've got our level 4 fire, ice. You're just ranch, but ranch is always level 1. Transport, water, gathering, seeding. Both of them are electric generation, handiwork, mining, and emotional support. So I do not have a pal for medicine or logging out right now, but I do have them. This one here is my logging pro, and this one here is my medicine pro. I just realized I will literally never need them. So there's no point in having them out. I also went to the trouble of Frostallion, specifically. I bred a non-boss version of Frostallion. So wherever Frostallion is. There. So yeah, non-boss version of Frostallion. So the only thing the boss version does is make them larger and give them more HP. And I bred the not boss version so that it was smaller. Because if you recall, my ice and fire pals that I had on base before were so large, you could see them wherever they were on base. So now we have proper-sized dudes. Also, Blazimat Ryu, who was our raid boss we fought last time, as it turns out, really good at fire. So I've got one of him here wandering around for fire, specifically. And then I have a Blazimat not Ryu over here mining. And boy, he is mining like nobody's business. Because he's really good at mining. We used to have two different pals doing mining. I knocked that down to one because I just don't need as many resources right now. Like, I already have everything unlocked, so I'm kind of just collecting things for the sake of collecting it. So, like, the base is super good now. Something else I did... Hey there, Tyler. Was I also bred a not boss version of Jetragon, who I have then beefed up to be the new rideable pal. It's same speed, everything as its larger counterpart. It's just not as big. That's it. It's just not as big. The giant flying mounts can get a little troublesome. They can't fit in caves. They have a hard time interacting with things. Like, hey, you want to actually fly up and interact with this thing? You can't, because you're like this high in the air going, where am I even in relation to this thing? So I bred a normal-sized one so it can function. Like having normal ones as opposed to boss ones. I'm touch and go. I think usually I like boss ones for like my combat ones. But the riding mounts, I guess the riding ones depend on the specific PAL. Because it was Tyrantrus is just really small. Like, I wanted the boss Tyrantrus to ride. But then Jetragon is huge. So that's all the shenanigans that have been going on there. Everything is maxed out, as I've said. We've got only the best pals in our base now. Even did some breeding to assure that. I went out and collected Liffamunk effigies, so we didn't have to worry about that anymore. I also went out and found any journals I had not found before. So we now have all of those. And I was waiting so long for everything that I even decorated my room. So I have a decorated room. I even have a second bed for Zoe, but she never really sleeps back here. So that is my update. That is my update on everything that has happened. We are now clean. There is nothing left for us. Oh, we have also, and we did this last time. We've also caught every pal except one. $127. Which we'll get to that. Does Zoe ever sleep? Yes! She sleeps like everybody else, only she sleeps in pal beds for some reason. So that's effectively my update. That's what I've done since last time, and giving that update is about half of this stream, almost. So what's left for us to accomplish? Well, if you recall, when we, in base game, doing dungeons, have you has a chance of dropping the Belle Noire slabs. So you can fight raid boss Belle Noire. I think it's in the advanced areas, which are the 3 bigger islands, have a chance of dropping the Belle Noire Libero slab. So you can get Belle Noire Libero. Now, when they did Sakurajima, this is where the slab for Blazimet Ryu showed up. And we fought Blazimet Ryu last time. Now down in Faybreak, you get a different slab. Which, do I not even have any on me? No, I do. I have 11. The Xenolord. Oh wow, I can only make 2? Okay. And Xenolord is also going to be our PAL 127. That's the one thing we are missing. And the one piece of tech we've not unlocked, right here, is the Xenolord saddle. So the last thing for us to do is Xenolord. Now, after they did Faybreak, because when they did Faybreak, the level cap was 60. After Faybreak, there was the Terraria update, which also raised the level cap to 65. So all of the tech that comes at the very end here, these last 5 levels worth of tech, that's all Terraria tech, or the Terraria upgrade tech. Now, as far as content, there is no real high-level content for the Terraria update. There's not like a big Faybreak for level 65 or whatever. There's the dungeon, which is like level 40 or something. And there is the Cthulhu guy, Moonlord. And then there's Moonlord, which Moonlord is another raid fight, but it's not a high-level raid fight. We did it much earlier. Just because it's lower level. Now, there is a hard mode of all of these raid bosses, and I have not fought any of the hard modes. So let's go prep for and then fight Xenolord, and then maybe for funsies, we can fight one of the hard modes and see how badly we get our butts kicked. Reverse order in terms of release. We've mostly been doing as release. We just did Terraria when it was more level appropriate instead of waiting until the end. Since all the Terraria, like, content is level 40-ish, whereas all the Terraria tech is level 65. So we need 100 stone, 20 paldium, then we go to our raid base and get ready. So we have fought the Xenovaders, who showed up pretty early on. Then at a higher level, you start fighting the Xenoguards. So Xenolord is going to be the big boy. Okay, that's built, ready to go. And this is why some of the theories about what the main threat is going to be, because plot-wise, there are the towers that we've been kind of taking out over the course of the game that are holding off some higher up being or something. And we've just been kind of wrecking all of them. And the Xenoguard to Xenolord chain is kind of an assumption that the big bad, the biggest of bads, is going to be some, like, Xeno queen or something. Like, that's the thinking. But we won't really know. As far as my own theory crafting goes, I feel like we're going to learn most of what we learn when we go to the tree. Which I can't actually see from here. No, you can. We're going to learn, like, most of our stuff when we go to tree. And I feel like the tree update is probably coming up soon, if not next. Like, I don't know how long, physically, until then. But, like, as far as content has been going, at this point, we've got things like our shield and even the grappling gun that have been upgrading over the course of the game. And you can see here in the end, we're kind of running out of things to get in these latter levels. Like, our tree is getting more and more narrow. And then a lot of what's up here is just different flags. Technology-wise, we're moving to this advanced tech, like we're already using effectively future tech. And the ultra grappling gun... Is my mouse doing okay? Something's bugging out. Whoops. Oh, rip to whatever's down there. Okay, yeah, what is going on? Please stop. Is it because I'm mounted? Nope, it is just very confused. What is going on? Is this part of why Palworld is, like, freaking out audio-wise, too? No, it's because I was leaning on my controller. Whoops. But we've seen things like our shield, the grappling gun, also, they've been upgrading over the course of the game, and each rank of that has been a different rarity, and we're up to Legendary, which is as high as any of that goes. Also, the PAL spheres, which started at Common, have been working their way up to now Legendary. Like, the equipment that we're getting has been upgrading over the course of the game, even in rarity. And everything now is legendary status. So there's not really a lot of room to go from here upwards, unless they either make a new rarity, or with the last two PAL spheres, the ultimate and exotic, they're both legendary, even though one is better than the other. So, I don't know if they're going to make a new rarity, but this very much implies to me that we are kind of at the end of the game. And even though we've made this advanced workshop and advanced assembly line, we don't really have anything to make on those, so I don't imagine... If these aren't our final work, like assembly lines, then I feel like the next one may be. About the only thing that I can think of beyond these is like an ancient one. Made out of that, like, that weird, gnarly, cubic ancient tech. So they have been escalating, and given their own internal rules, it very much feels like we are effectively at the peak. Which is why I am inclined to believe that next update may be Tree and Finale. If it's not, it's going to be very soon. Alright, so let's put together the party. So you two can go away. I need to get out. You and the Gobfin Brigade. Because I'm going to be riding Frostallion for this one. I also have several more Frostallions. And several Astagons. And beyond that, I'm not really sure, so let's just put out some Jormungand's and go from there. All these guys are max level. All of these guys have, like, really good IVs. I've done, like, the little Pal Sphere, Pal Soul thing to them. They've got good traits. This is a beast team. No, only one. Hi. Where is it? There it is. I can't see him. I need, like, a flying mount. The heck even is he? He's in there somewhere. Like, do you guys have any idea how much damage I do to these guys if I could friggin' find him? Oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez. Whee! Oh, he's going. Oh, he's going. Aha! You took out a lot of guys, my friend. This guy's rough. Out of the way, out of the way. Gotta get to the PAL box. Out of the way. Let me move. Okay, we have smaller dudes now, so maybe I can actually hit him. Oh, he's gone. Is he gone? So I know they summon ads. I don't think he changes type. Ow, ow. Oh, I overheated. Okay, we're losing people. Get back in there. Let's send in some. Well, I'll send in more of these guys. I got more of them. Now I can't see where he is anymore. Oh, I found it. He's up there. No, mount him. Get on. Okay, cool. Now where is he? Jeez! That was like everybody. He just... Okay, we're running out of dudes. Okay, get him. Okay, the water ones do not fare well. Ah. Guys. Can't see, too dark. On fire. Out of the way. These guys didn't last super long either. We are running low on guys. We are running low on guys. Aiming at me. No, it's not. Okay, we are once again pretty much out of guys. Very quickly running out of guys to replace guys with. Like, nothing left here is even... Nothing left is even 65. Where'd he go? There he is. Where'd he go? There he is. Man, I'm like trying to get headshots, but he's moving around so much and I can barely see him. We're gonna time out at this rate, you're right. Uh-oh. I'm out. Get out of the way, you big lug! Ah! Alright, well, I can do a considerable amount of damage to that thing if I could ever hit it. But I also went through every pal I had. This is how fast these rejuvenation things work. Like, they're just up and ready, like, immediately. Just make sure to put one not KO'd pal in there, so... They heal so fast. They just have, like, no stamina. Or not stamina, sanity. Oh no, that one's sleeping. Here. Wait, no, if it was sleeping, I should leave him out so he can also sleep. Okay, very hungry, but otherwise everybody is good. Where'd, like, all my pals go? Are they at the end? They are at the end. Alright, so that was a wash. But that's okay. Because I have other plans. I actually wanted to see if there was something in here on, like, pals will only eat to get their hunger up to a certain point, because I'm getting real tired of them only eating and taking it up to, like, half. Unfortunately, there is not. Alright, so here's what we do. I feel like if I got like a larger army of guys, then that would have been doable, but still sketchy. But I don't know how in the world you do an even harder version, though. But, like, we did get close. I'm gonna assume that this is, like, specifically our own PAL. Hey there, Taran unit. Damn, where do I still have plenty of ammo. Alright, so I have another strategy. Apparently there's a glitch on top of just turning all my stats up real high. Yeah, I don't have a lot of way in the detail on how to do this. It's not so much a glitch as it is an abuse of AI. It's getting late, though. Let's rest, do this tomorrow. Alright, so... where am I going? Maybe that way? Yep, put it in there. Hey, get on. Oh, cool, I can hit him. That one can't hit him. He is really hard to hit, though. Can I, like, get a little closer? Oh, he's actually attacking me here. Maybe this would be easier if I was, like, up here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Hey, Frostallion, could you be, like, slightly smaller? Really? I can't hit him from here? Really? I can't hit him from here. That's weird to me. Oh, okay. Gonna do it again? I am never gonna kill this thing at this rate. Maybe I come around to this side. I wonder if this was the damage to pals thing. Maybe I should have experimented with that more. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I think that's my damage to pals thing that I like. What happens if I just, like, leave? What happens if I just leave? Alright, it just ends it. Still doing high damage. I am a little confused now, though. So do I just have to get, like, stupid close to do good damage with this thing? I've never actually paid attention to that before. I mean, that did 27. Yeah, I think damage on this thing just peters off super fast. That was 20. Yeah. This is a very close range weapon. This isn't. Okay. I don't even know if this thing has travel time. I need something else that I can shoot from stupid far away. Well, I didn't even see a damage number. There we go. Yeah, this is good. This one's good. So that was probably some of the problem. Do not use very close range weapon. And if we need something that fires rapidly, I may even be best off with the rocket launcher. So give me 1 second while I reclaim the fragments I just used up. Can I trigger that while on a pal? Nope, do your move. He's a little stuck. There he goes. Oh, I stunned him. Oh, that's the sound of him getting stunned. Are the Xenofaders infighting? Oh, he summoned more ads. I guess he does that at like HP percentages or something. Shoot him in the butt. Yeah! Eat it! Show you who's boss. Okay, so that obviously wasn't the most honest win. But we sure did do it. Look, those are settings that they put in the game. If they didn't want me to use them, they shouldn't have put them there. And I have an egg! Granted, I'm doing 5 times normal damage, but even given that, that went really quick. I feel like at normal damage, that fight would be very doable if I could freaking see him through the army of pals attacking him. Like, I'm spending the whole fight standing back going, I have no idea where he is. Yeah, disable ally hitboxes. Even disable their visibility, too. Like, I can't see where the guy is. This is a different ring than what I have. Dark damage reduction. Like, maybe I would have more luck if I, like, flew up in the air, kind of like I did, and shot downwards. Like, we almost had him last time. I feel like if I just shot at him reliably, we would have destroyed him first run. Alright, so inventory's clean. We're all tidied up. And we have 16 minutes before egg. Oh, and if I check the Palpedia, yep, there we go, Xenolord. There's the boy. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes. Let us take this opportunity to look through the journal entries. So, there's a lot from this castaway. We don't really know much about that, but maybe we'll figure it out. And then there's a handful from each of the various bosses we fought. Let's go ahead and start with Castaway. Okay, so Day XX, this world harbors a secret. I was convinced of this when I began re-examining the globe's geographical features for my research towards the end of the year. Looking over the islands of the world, I noticed something strange. I felt like a certain area was empty, so to speak. I knew that there should have been something there. It was unbelievable to me how no one could have noticed such an obvious absence in this location. With a few months of preparation, I was successfully able to guess the location of an island based on my hypothesis. With conviction in my heart, I chartered a boat and set out for the island alone. So this is outside of the Palworld Islands. So there is a grander world out there, and we don't yet know what that world is, or anything about it. Day 0. Strangely enough, the island is shrouded in a thick fog that makes discerning from the sea impossible. Attempting to steer away from the fog, I turned rudder, only to be enveloped by an even deeper fog. Just then, someone attacked me. I have no idea where the attack came from, but my boat was all but destroyed. With nothing but wreckage left, I was still somehow able to make it to the coast. The island exists in no database. It is an island hidden from the world. Why is it being hidden? Why isn't it on any maps? I'm certain this is all intentional. Was that attack on my vessel part of an attempt to complete concealment? There are more mysteries than I can count, but I resolved to discover all the island's secrets. Day 1-1. I found a strange device on the shore. It appears to be some kind of electronic contraption, but its odd design looks like no modern technology I've ever seen. The device is capable of recording images and displaying information about what is shown in them. I've decided to take photographs of the island using this device and use them along with this journal to document what I find. Day 1-2. Soon after stepping foot on the island, I discovered a living creature nearby. Not only that, but every living thing I found in here is nothing like I've ever seen. On the other hand, normal creatures you might find on any other island seem to be almost entirely absent. It seems this island has quite a unique ecosystem. I now know that its absence on any map is not the only special feature of this place. I've decided to use the device I found to record the various species I encounter. Day 2. As I explored around on foot, I found a sphere that emits a peculiar blue light. I threw it without much thought, and the creature it landed near transformed into what seems to be light, as though the sphere had absorbed it. Unbelievably, when I tried throwing the same sphere again, the creature reappeared from the light, and stared at me with what seemed to be an amicable expression. As I began to create a shelter to protect me from the elements, the creature astonishingly began to help me. How useful! Wanting to deepen my connection with this living thing, I decided to name its kind Pals. To match, I christened this land Palpagos Islands. Day 3. Discovered what appears to be an ancient ruin while exploring the island. Humans once lived here, finding some kind of mural on the walls. I deciphered the symbols and found that it was none other than instructions on how to make that strange sphere from before. Using paldium, the name I've given the blue ore found throughout the island, as a catalyst, it is possible to transform mere wood and stone into one of these spheres. I must record this method of production on my device. There happens to be a weakened pal near me, unable to move. Rolling a sphere towards it, I was able to capture another pal. Day 5. I've since befriended several pals. Some are similar to sheep and birds, others to cats. Each appears to be skilled at different kinds of work. They divvy up the work of their own accord and make life easier for me here. I'm sure the ancient civilization here must have worked with pals to prosper. Pals are not all intelligent per se, but they all work quite diligently. If pals helped build those ruins, there must have been some reason why they were destroyed. Day 6. Something odd that's bothering me since I arrived here. Far off in the distance, I can see what looks like an enormous tree, big enough to be the so-called world tree spoken of in so many myths. Still, it's so large that no amount of fog would be enough to obscure it from the view from outside the island. The only hypothesis I came up with is that something other than the fog enveloping this island prevents it from being seen by the outside world. In other words, some kind of mechanism must be preventing it from being seen from the outside. It seems likely that the mysterious powers these pals have something to do with them. It's a big tree. Day 8. I caught sight of a pal riding on the back of a deer-like pal. Pal riding on a pal. Thinking it would be a great opportunity to try something new, I tried attaching a saddle to a similar pal and riding it. It went better than expected. The pal was quite easy to ride. This will surely expand the area I can explore around the island. Day 10. Today I decided to take my pals on a bit of an excursion. A tower-like object visible in the distance had piqued my curiosity. After walking for a while, I encountered another human. When I tried to talk to them, however, they didn't say a word and just pointed a gun at me. Since they're on this island, it would make sense to consider them a remnant of the ancient civilization, but their attire suggests they're likely from the same era as I am. Are they, just like me, from the outside, or has this ancient civilization developed here of its own accord? I was in a rough spot, but my sheep pal protected me, allowing me to escape unscathed. I immediately returned to my base of operations and found that all my pals were safe. There's still so much more to learn about this island. Day 11. I had no choice but to run away yesterday, but I can't stop thinking about that tower. Just as I decided to fashion some gear to try approaching it again, I heard the sound of gunfire behind me. That person from yesterday is after me. I couldn't sit by and do nothing. I mobilized all my pals for a counterattack. Before I knew it, they got carried away and killed the assailant. It's not like I killed anyone directly. There's no one to blame here. Day 12-1. As I approached the tower for the second time, I once again heard the sound of gunfire. It seems there are groups that have banded together and are now fighting for territory. I believe they're mostly using pals to fight this battle. This place isn't safe. I need to be stealthy if I'm to wander around here. 12-2. While taking a breather, I tried to figure out who those people were again, but to no avail. If they're from the outside, like I am, it would seem strange that such a large group would not have information about leaving the island. I can only come to the conclusion that they're remnants of the ancient civilization here fighting for survival. I can't fathom why or how they have guns, but it seems only natural that they must have created their weapons themselves. That, or it's possible they're imitating things that have drifted onto shore for whatever reason. 12.3. After a long journey, I finally managed to arrive at the tower. I am nearly certain it's a relic from an ancient civilization. However, I have no guesses as to why it was built. Still, I can feel that there's an energy flowing through the place, similar to that of Paldium ore. When I touched an inscribed stone slab, I found myself transported to some strange place. What I found there was an enormous pal and a human in control of it. I ran away in terror, and before I knew it, I found myself returning near the tower. Or returned near the tower. Day 13. I've worked out the ancients must have lived in luxury alongside pals, yet due to some unknown reason, that way of life was lost. Perhaps it was a massive natural disaster, or maybe a struggle broke out for scarce pals and resources. Then again, maybe it was something to do with the teleportation I experienced in the tower. Something that some power is responsible for that spatial teleportation, perhaps similar to how the pal spheres work. What would happen if that power were utilized in other ways? A power so great that humans could not control it. Perhaps that is what destroyed the civilization on this island. 15. I had tried to avoid thinking about it, but the food I brought along are all but gone. The food I brought along is all but gone, and I'm sick and tired of eating berries. I did happen to find a pal eating the flesh of another pal. It looks delicious. I can't say I was proud to think as much, but sometimes sacrifices are necessary. I captured a wild bird pal, skinned it, and fried it up for dinner. It was delicious. The necessity of eating meat was enough to make tears run down my face. Whether in killing fellow men or pals, this island has a way of making one forget about their ethics. Day 18. I decided to distance myself from the tower and have begun to explore other areas. There are places in each area that appear to be vast caves. They appear to have traces of human involvement and ore that can be found throughout them. Could someone have used pals to dig these holes? I cannot but feel overwhelmed by all the mysteries I'm unable to solve, but my pals have come with me no matter where I go. As long as I have food to give them, that is. Day 22. What on earth was that huge pal? I was simply walking along an open field when I encountered a massive pal, the likes of which I've never seen before. I fled in surprise, but if I were to befriend a pal like that, I'd have nothing to fear on this island. The existence of a pal of that size is sure to prove that pals don't follow the laws of nature as we understand them. Perhaps the pal's source of energy doesn't come from food or photosynthesis alone, but some other kind of energy. The power I encountered in that tower may also have been utilizing the same energy source, but through human hands. Day 25. After living with pals for a while, I've come to realize they don't breed like normal animals. All it takes is the presence of a male and female pair. With some time, an egg simply appears. Furthermore, it seems that the bodies of dead pals simply vanish. Where do pals come from, and where do they go? Where do they go to, Cotton Eye Joe? These mysteries have no end in sight. Utilizing the description I found in some ruins, I managed to compress the size of pal spheres even further. Developing a method for remotely removing pals, I can now also teleport the spheres themselves. This has made organizing and managing my pals much easier. It isn't hard to imagine that the ancients must have also moved and managed a large number of pals simultaneously. Day 30. It's been a month since I arrived on Palpco's Islands. I've grown quite fond of living here. Lately I've had pals make weapons and equipment for me. A few pals have taken an interest in guns, so I've devised weapon designs for their use. Some are quite adept at handling the weapons. I'm sure they'll be a little more reliable in the coming battles. Day 32. I made a mistake. On what was supposed to be a short excursion, a group of dangerous nocturnal pals attacked me, and I was injured. Why are the pals who live on this island so aggressive? I can't help but feel their attacks are well beyond the ferocity necessary for self-preservation. Humans, for example, will engage in bloody war at the behest of a leader. Similarly, the pals living here seem like they are fighting for the very island itself. I suspect they harbor some deep instinctual drive to protect this place. And finally, day 38. Having now journeyed far from where I first drifted ashore, I've come across a massive statue in the shape of a pal. I'm nearly certain it is a legend of the ancient civilization, but why would humans build a statue such as this? Everything I've found thus far suggests that pals lived alongside these ancients as equals, but constructing a monument like this must mean that some were also objects of worship. Perhaps there are certain pals out there that have a special significance both to people and to pals. This is true, actually. There are several divine beasts, which are some of the legendaries that we fought up until now. So that's all of the Castaways journals. Now I can move on to the various bosses. Tower bosses. So this is Zoe's Diary 1. I don't have a family. My father disappeared a long time ago, and I've never seen my mother's face. The only ones who raised me are those guys in Griswold. That's why I know I had no choice but to survive in this tiny little world. Those guys all chase around pals with their guns. They capture the ones they hurt and sell them to those other weird guys. In return, they get food. They even share it with me. That's why I don't have to go be hungry. I don't think any of those guys really care about me. They just keep me alive because I'm the daughter of their boss. I still believe that, even if I'm a boss now, too. Day 2. Or, just entry 2. Grisbolt was one of the pals they were going to sell. But she looked so lonely in her cage. She was just like me. And father, I thought. I was still little back then, so I couldn't control myself. I waited until everybody was sleeping, opened Grisbolt's cage, and ran off away with her. I shared half a slice of my breakfast toast with her. We were both hungry by evening and went back to base. And of course, all the guys were super angry. They threw me in a cage with Grisbolt, and I thought we were going to get taken away. But Grisbolt protected me. Not even their guns or bats could beat her. How did she get captured in the first place if she's that strong? I bet she didn't even try to escape the big dummy. I gave Grisbolt a command, and she called down a huge bolt of lightning that wiped out all the guys. I didn't wake up until the next morning. Ever since then, I've been with Grisbolt. These are all your allies, technically. 3. There's a group that opposes ours, stationed a little ways away from where we live. They don't like the way we sell pals and use weapons. Our group sneers at them and calls them the Free Pal Alliance. We're always fighting with them for no reason. If I stop and think about it, I bet they're not bad people if they love pals so much. I asked one of the guys who's been around for a long time about it, but he said it was complicated. Apparently our group has been around for a long time, and we've always been fighting with those FPA guys. He said he doesn't know the real reason behind it, but we've been fighting so long that there's no hope of ever getting along. Entry 4. Sometimes I wonder if there's anything beyond the sea. The only thing I can see far off in the distance is that huge tree. I've never heard anyone talk about what's beyond that place. Apparently some brave guy from long ago went to see the outside world, but he never came back. I have heard about people coming from beyond the sea, though. I don't know what those kind of people do, but they say they use tools different from our own. That's why I know there must be something beyond the sea. A whole bunch of islands, a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of things. It sounds scary, but I'd like to try going sometime. And entry 5. I've started to wonder, why am I guarding this big tower again? I always thought it was obvious since Father also used to do this, but now that I think about it, I have no idea why. From what I've heard about it, they say there's a legend passed down on this island. They say this tower is somehow related to that legend and that it has some big, great power. What kind of power, I wonder. Even if that's true, what does this power have to be protected? Anyway, even though I don't know why, I'm always here, protecting this tower. There are other towers around the island, they say people like me guard them all. It makes sense that, like, Zoe was the only one we, at the very least, the first one that we really befriended. Like, she barely gets along with her own guys and doesn't really even know why she's there. She's just pals with Grisbolt and doing what she thinks she's supposed to do. Alright. Lily Everhart. This is the Free Pal Alliance leader. Pals, such dangerous creatures. These noble things have upheld our civilization since ancient times. They not only boast impressive intellect, reflexes, and adaptability, but are adorable to look at as well. How can anyone not come to love them? Humans are savage animals. I mean, true. With an insatiable appetite for the proliferation of their own kind, they subjugate other species and enslave them. Yeah. They engage in pointless strife, consume flesh for no reason, and develop beyond their needs. Yeah. When one takes into account their hideous appearance, how could anyone not detest them? Humans capture pals and use them. If a pal is confined to a so-called pal sphere, they become obedient to their master. What abhorrent tools they become. One can only say this is the greatest stain in the history of our civilization. Pals and humans were originally meant to live alongside each other in mutual support. Not a relationship between master and servant, but one of equals. A harmonious coexistence, if you will. Eating a pal for food is akin to a blasphemy against God. That's kind of a stretch. 2. I will recount the day I met Lylene. I remember that the fog was so thick that day I could scarcely see in front of my own eyes. I was simply walking along the berry fields, as I am fond of doing, when I heard the clamorous voices of those abhorrent poachers. When I looked to where I could hear the sound of their filthy screams, I saw them throwing spheres at a pal resembling a vivid lily flower. She was so beautiful and elegant. At that moment, I knew what I must do. I pierced their dirty hearts through the back and destroyed their scattered spheres. They shot at me a few times, but it was a trivial matter. I could not touch such a beautiful flower with my trembling, blood-stained hands. Instead, I returned immediately to my base. When I arrived, I found the Queen of the Lilies there, awaiting me. When she touched my arm, my wounds were healed, and the fatigue began to fade away. From that day forward, I decided to become companions with my queen. She is the only flower that blooms in this sad, dark world. I think she just claimed you. Entry 3. When do you join the Free Pal Alliance? The Free Pal Alliance is a long-standing organization that works to protect pals. We have lived together with pals since antiquity, and each of us has a deep love for the wondrous creatures. We have 5 traditional commandments. Thou must not eat pals. Thou must not overwork pals. Thou must not abuse pals. Thou must not use pals for experiments. Thou must not risk thy life to Thou must risk thy life to protect pals. Wouldn't you like to join us and protect the pals you love? Your life in service of protecting pals is a small price to pay. The flesh and blood of humans exists only for the glory of pals. No. I'm good. Okay, Marcus Dryden. So this is the guy out in the desert. Yeah, so Lily Everhart, she's just off her nut. Just off her nut. Pals are better than people. All people should be subservient to pals. So, Marcus. Desert guy. I forget what group this is. This is the... PIDF? Palpagos Island Defense Force. Entry 1. What a joke. All we need to do around here is snort up stims. It's a real dump. There's no point in even trying to control it. PIDF doesn't belong in a place like this. The guys I arrested today couldn't even pay the fine. Guess it's to be expected if they spend all their money getting it fixed. But they can't even imagine the money they pay ends up lining my pockets. I make a profit when they buy, and then I make more when I arrest them for possession. And I even get back my product to sell again when I confiscate what they have. It's a grand scheme. They're idiots, and I'm a genius. This is just their punishment for being fools. You catch my drift? This island is just my little sandbox to play on. For all I care, they can live their little sad lives without ever knowing I'm the only one supplying their fix and the one controlling it. If I let them get carried away, they'll just go off demanding rights. They ain't fit for garbage like them. Yeah, can't say I'm fond of this guy either. Entry 2. Life out here's not all peace and quiet. The darn wind blows, and somehow somebody's cutting into my profits. Just today, some punk syndicate clown, who thinks he's smart, tried selling stims without my permission. My partner, Philaris, is always there to deal with the dumb bottom feeders like that. Just like me, he's having fun playing in this little sandbox. Or maybe he's just likes eating that white stuff. Huh? Don't look at me like that. Ain't no food today, boy. Go eat some of that white sand. Yeah, so really doesn't even have respect for his partner. No respect for anybody. I feel like he doesn't even have respect for himself, though. Entry 3. Another peaceful day on the island. More proof we're having fun playing house, right, Phalaris? Don't worry, I get it. You've got the same eyes as me. You're having fun playing house too, yeah? Or maybe you're just waiting for me to fall over dead. Sure do like eating that white stuff, huh? Maybe the day will come when I'm just left over stuck to your wings. Maybe not. Either way, let's just watch each other's backs until then, right, partner? I like that he at least, like, gets it. But the fact that he kind of considers life in general a game is a little concerning. Okay, Victor. This is the scientist guy. Okay, entry 1 on interspecies pal experiments. Results, failure. Attempted to combine various four-legged and winged pals, but no successful patterns emerged. Some combinations succeeded in creating bodies, but these deteriorated in seconds, and all were disposed of. Impressions. Reconsideration of chemicals for response control is necessary. Furthermore, the expansion of species to inspect is also likely necessary. We'll reconsider extracting chemicals from either deer antlers to create a compound. Storage temperatures also require reconsideration. Note, acquire one ice pal for cooling purposes. Re-examination of base DNA information for the species under consideration is desirable. Analysis of PAL DNA information is pressing but requires new equipment. However, the current equipment was coincidentally acquired from outside. There are limits to how far it can be improved. This will require self-made blueprints to create equipment from scratch. Entry 2. On the distillation and administration of PALs to the same species. Results: success. A certain species of PAL was dissolved in liquid and concentrated via distillation. Subsequently, the concentrated liquid was administered to a PAL of the same species. As expected, the results yielded an enhancement in the abilities of the administered PAL. Yeah, this is that, chamber. We got one of them. I haven't used it much. Impressions. This experiment, initiated as an alternative approach towards generating powerful PALs, surprisingly yielded favorable outcomes. Theories postulating that PALs of a certain species contain the nutrients most necessary for the same type of PAL seem valid. This experiment has accordingly resulted in the enhancement of the test PAL's abilities. However, there remains a slight doubt regarding whether the observed enhancement surpasses the anticipated values. Perhaps it is not merely a matter of basic nutrients, but rather we must question whether PALs inherently possess a distinct energy source essential for their own existence. Further investigation is required. Entry 3. On interspecies PAL experiments 2. Results: success. Only one specimen emerged, an artificially created new species with 4 legs and wings. It was promptly transferred to the cultivation experiment and has since shown promising progress, steadily maturing. Attempts to reproduce the same process failed. Thus, this miraculous success is attributed to some unknown external factor. Impressions. The success of the experiment is genuinely gratifying. The new species, named Shadowbeak, will continue to be observed closely for further developments. However, the lack of reproducibility of the procedure poses a significant challenge. Henceforth, the plan is to proceed with the experiment, incorporating slight adjustments based on this procedure. Addendum. The disappearance of Alex, who served as a lab assistant, is concerning. There's a people in that bird. That's why it worked. Also, I do wonder why he was insistent on making something with 4 legs and 2 wings. If I had to guess, it's because one of the legends speak of a creature with 4 legs, 2 wings. Was it Frostallion? It may have been Frostallion. Yeah, that's the level 60. And it's even in the cold area where he's doing his work. I think he was trying to make a Frostallion, effectively. I mean, he was trying to make remake the legendary beast, but the legendary beast was Frostallion that he was trying to replicate. Axel! The fire guys, the Brotherhood. Every damn snoring, no rivals to get me going. I don't care about they type. Ain't nobody gonna beat my hype. I'm looking for a fight. Real tough brother from another mother. Throwing in the towel. Ain't gonna cut it. It's gotta be a knockout. A throwdown brawl out. So fast y'all, your eyes'll bleed. That doesn't rhyme with anything. When we're ready for the battle, you better believe the shock's gonna rock your socks off. Saw it off! Gotta saw off those socks. My lightning's tougher than high kings. When it hits the ring, ain't nobody gonna be singing for you, playa. Why did you specifically use that word? You ready for this hype? You read the word, so get ready for the fight. Not a very complicated person, this guy. He likes rapping and fighting, and that's pretty much it. So those are all the base guys. Now we move over to the Japan expansion. So Saya Kurosaki's diary. The moon on these islands remains unchanged. I think this is all in haiku. Or maybe just rhymed. Like a poem. The moon on these islands remains unchanged. No, is it the true nature of the moon to change its shape? I do not know. Yeah, it's haiku. I think. I don't know. Look, I don't know things. Many years ago, a lost soul who washed up on the shore found it strange that the moon never waned, as if time itself had stopped. That person once said the words, crescent moon. Those words still stir my heart deeply. When the lost moon appears in this world again, it is said it will be like a blade. Will I be able to witness the blade of the moon that signals the beginning? Tonight is also a full moon. Today's sake tastes awful too. Entry 2. For countless ages, we have continued to protect this tower. The reason is unknown. Our conveyed mission is only to maintain this island at a standstill. We hunt the madmen from the snowy mountains who defile the land. We hunt those who have proliferated in excess, those who pontificate about research, justice, and such babble, to preserve this landscape forever. Yes, we merely exist here. Our time does not pass. It has become unbearable. Only when intoxicated by sake, intoxicated by myself, can I avoid pondering such unnecessary matters. How long has it been since I can no longer enjoy the taste of alcohol? Someone please shine a light on this perpetual darkness. Tonight is also a full moon. Today's sake tastes awful too. So at this point, we see the whole sake tasting awful too is because she's effectively trying to keep herself intoxicated. Because everything has been the same. Nothing has changed in ages. And I do wonder if this even implies that she doesn't really age. She's just been here in effectively a still life. Entry 3. There is disarray among the ones from the volcano. Rumor has it their leader has changed. So this is probably when Axel just took over now or something. Before, their ways weren't so extreme, but now they are consumed by a bloody struggle against the maniacs from the White Mountain. Who are the researchers? Those lunatics, those unscrupulous people who disgrace this place, so the situation benefits us. But why did they start fighting now? I do not know what their leader is thinking, but I hope they do not tarnish our land. Tonight is also a full moon. Today's sake tastes awful too. And she mentions that it's always a full moon, so you do get the impression that time does not pass. And she's waiting for the crescent moon. She's waiting for change. Okay, entry 4. The moon has reached out to our pitiful selves. The crescent moon I longed for so dearly is now right before me. The everlasting darkness is lifted. It is clear to me, this creature is the one who will lead us to the end. No matter how our time ends, until that moment, I will be with you. Incarnation of the crescent moon, blade of beginnings, please illuminate our path. Tonight is also a full moon. Today's sake tastes delicious. Because we've finally seen the crescent moon. Finally progress, finally breaking out of the same old. Entry 5. There is one who is trying to pull out the stakes. I hear the sound of the end. Now to just sit and... That's us. Because we're beating up the tower, people. Now to just sit and wait. And so, us who just exist here, please destroy us. With the blade of the crescent moon, let the beginning of our time be announced. and with death we shall be released from our shackles. Tonight the moon is hidden from view. Today's sake is incredibly delightful. And we actually see the moon changing. And she is very happy for it. Okay, now we move on to the last section of them. These are from Faebreak. This is Bjorn Seligson. And this guy, he was like the old big gruff guy, big white beard. And he seems to actually kind of like know stuff. Nobody else knows stuff. Okay, entry 1. For that day, which may or not come, I have pursued strength relentlessly. Have I ever doubted this path, even once? Nay. And it seems I shall not end as a fool. The nuance will surely find its way. Long ago, the wise ones, with the light of their wisdom, raised the towers on these lands as the foundations of a fleeting peace. So that, yeah, the towers, they put the towers up to maintain peace. Now, even as it stirs chaos, the nuisance will see them clearly. How ironic. I think the nuisance is us? Is it all bad? Nay. Thanks to this ever-present reminder, I shall not forget my duty. For the many nameless souls of the past, I shall slay this one nameless outsider. The burden shall be fulfilled. Entry 2. This place is cursed. Nay, it is I and Bastigor who are cursed. Thousands of years ago, when a colossal fortress still stood in this land, reaching towards the heavens, it appeared suddenly. The heavens shattered, and we fell disgracefully. Our kin, who once looked down upon others from the sky, fled in panic, tails between their legs. From the sky? But I, nay, my ancestors, alone did not abandon this island, this land, reduced to ashes, nor its people. Fallen from the sky, we gathered the bewildered folk, and bared our fangs against it. From that moment, we forged an unchanging... I think that's supposed to be from. From that moment, we forged an unchanging resolve, becoming the people of the Faebreak. And so, my kin, who once merely sullied the lowest ranks, took a new throne and vowed to bear all burdens. Entry 3. The battle against it did not end, even with the aid of a thunder dragon, a pair of celestial beings, and the wisdom of a noble paladin. We could not bring about its destruction. Yeah, there you go. Thunder dragon. That's, Jetragon. By thunder, you know, sonic booms. A pair of celestial beings. This is going to be, this is the Paladin and the Dark Knight guys. And the wisdom of a noble Paladin, I'm guessing this is Frostalion. Like it's the only other one left. The celestial beings, determined not to let it escape, shrouded the island in an unending winter night. The black Pegasus melted into the night and vanished. The land became still, unseen, and leaving the island became impossible. The Paladin, ashamed of his failure, split himself in two, vowing to never show mercy again. Oh no, so the Paladin became the two. So the pair of celestial beings, the noble Paladin became the Paladin and the Dark Knight. A pair of celestial beings. The celestial beings, not to let it escape, shrouded on winter night. The black Pegasus melted into the night and vanished. So this is going to be Frostalion and Frostalion Nox. The dragon vanished beyond the reach of the flash, disappearing from sight. In hindsight, perhaps it has now returned because it has sensed the coming of that day. And now here we are, it still slumbers. Do I guard this land truly for the sake of duty? Nay, no matter the pretense, I cannot hide it. Perhaps I simply wish to meet a worthy foe. So, entry 4. I wonder if the lone daughter of Rain's blood is well. I did her a disservice, talking about Zoe. In any case, the last time I saw her, she still had her mother's breast. She will not remember me. Her father and I never saw eye to eye. He was not a man driven by duty or the past. On the day we parted ways, I gave him a final test, a foolish pretense. In the end, it was nothing more than a childish spite. Surprisingly, he accepted without hesitation. He turned out to be a man of principle, more than I had expected. It was a task even a child could manage. But he never returned. Since then, the young ones who had gathered around him were left without leadership, but it seems his daughter has taken the helm and brought some semblance of order. Though our paths diverged, she has faithfully upheld the mission to guard the tower. Indeed, she is truly your child. Entry 5. If, just if, everything were to end, and I were freed from all burdens, what would I do? An old man with little time left. What would I do? Surely I would continue to fight, until I crumble to dust. The world must be vast. Surely there are warriors beyond my imagination, countless in number. If so, perhaps I should repair that old ship. It has been too long since I last sailed the seas. And Bastagor, it is about time for you two as well. After dealing with the nuisance, perhaps I will seek a mate for you. I'm not sure you can get off the island, though. And that probably crashed because you can't get off the island. Okay, so that is all the lore we have right now. We don't know what event happened. But it was never really stopped. Also, all that reading made my throat sore. Xenolord, let's go! Oh, heck, where is he? Must have filled a random slot somewhere. There he is. There's the boy. Look at that boy. Yeah! Aren't you an Eldritch Horror from the heavens? What a good Eldritch Horror! Okay, so what can we do for you? So what do you have? You have Invader. That's all attack damage. Okay, so I don't really care about these. It gives you some defense. So attack plus 10%. What's this one? It's 20%. I mean, that's 30% work speed. Minus. I'm never going to use that, though. I feel like this boy needs some defense, though. Do I want to give him Serenity? Give you Serenity. His only thing is he's got 1 in gathering. This boy is useless on base. Oh wait, no, you can ride this guy's a mount. I mean, that means I gotta give him infinite stamina. I don't really want to get rid of that, but it's only 1 arrow, so it can't be that good. And then do I want him to have Serenity or Flight Speed? Or like movement speed? So this is health? Oh my goodness, look at those horrible IVs. Let's get that worked on. There we go. Boy's feeling a lot better now. And Xenolord's saddle. Ah, it takes 5. That's a Goral. A Goral can be a good boy. Oh, jeez. Is that even going to tick everybody off? Hey. Okay, there we go. I feel like I missed one. Hey, buddy. Get off me! Get off me! Alright, I think that's everybody here. I need to turn experience rate up if I'm going to get this guy to 65 anytime soon. So let's head back to base real quick. We need more technology points too, so I'm going to want to run through Terraria. I don't know of a better place to find this stuff, so I always end up coming here. I didn't actually bring a mount that I can ride. So I just gotta run. It's okay, this is why we have so much stamina. I actually think the only place you get the manual is from the very end. There may not actually be a lot of reason to grab every chest along the way, but... I don't remember if there's actually a chest over this way or not. Oh, I also don't have any good fighting pals, so I may actually be fighting Eye of Cthulhu by my lonesome. It's okay, I have 5 times damage turned on. That's true. Xenoloord is like level 53. He's not gonna breeze through these guys, but he can take them. She, right? She. There's nothing in the house to the left back there, and there's also nothing over that way. Technically, there's a chance at a life expansion item over there. I actually don't know. When I maxed all my stats, I don't know if I maxed HP. I also don't have a pickaxe. Yeah, there are 2 places where there is a slim... Hey! 2 places in here where there's a slim chance at a life crystal spawning. Break it and you get a life crystal, which you use and it increases your max HP. Oh no, I've actually dipped below 1,000 ammo. You know, just mining with an assault rifle, as you do. I actually wonder what the return is on that, and if it's even worth it to use a pickaxe. Or just mine with an assault rifle anyway. Alright, let's see what the best crap and 5 times damage and 4 gobfins in the party does against you. That. I kind of like when he dies, he explodes into gore. Just like in Terraria, only this game censors it. Okay, so that was... I got a bunch of stuff in here that I don't need. Alright, so what do I not need? I don't need any schematics. Don't need regular arrows. I already have one of them, so I can get rid of that. Let's see here. I keep... Okay, so I don't need you. Don't need you. And we're looking good. Oh, I do have tech manuals. Well, heck. I just ran all of that for nothing. Now let's go make that saddle. Wrong bench. No, Xenolord saddle, where are you? Xenoguard saddle. Okay, no, I've got to be missing it. The heck is he? Oh, it is the one at the bottom I hovered over first. And we have plenty of supplies. So now we just wait 10 years for this thing to finish. Well, no, we got help. It's going faster. Alright, so mostly what I wanted to do... Mostly what I wanted to do was show off all the crap I built, read lore, fight Xenolord. And we fought Xenolord, we've raised a Xenolord, making a Xenolord saddle, and then we're pretty much going to be set on Xenolord. And at that point, I'm kind of out of stuff to do. The one remaining thing that I think I'll do for funsies, and that'll wrap up the stream, is I'm going to fight one of the hard mode guys. And I want to see how bad it goes. Like, what hard mode guy do we want to try? Moonlord. Moonlord. You know what? Maybe we'll try Moonlord. Like, we could try something like Bella Noir, who we would maybe have a chance of beating. Could try Xenolord, who I'm sure would absolutely beat our butts, but we just saw Xenolord. And my worry would be that instead of kicking our butts, it would just, like, not die. Yeah. He's quick. So as far as mounts go, Xenolord is... Can I, like, not land? Okay, I just didn't let me land up there for some reason. So you have to double jump to fly. You just jump normally. That wimpy little jump. He does fly very quickly. She. Let me get the actual statistics for this. Because Xenolord and Jetrigan. Yeah, so when you're just flying with them, Xenolord moves the same speed as Jetrigan. However, the sprinting speed of Xenolord is considerably slower than Jetrigan's sprinting speed. However, Xenolord has like 3 times the stamina of Jetrigan. And one of the big issues with Jetrigan is that it has like no stamina. So depending on what you want, this may be the better mount. You know what, as long as I'm here, let's see... Wait, what? Oh, it's because I exited the game. Okay, so while I'm here, let's see how much health I can... Oh, I did max out my health. Well, poop. Oh, in here you go. Okay, let's get ready to fight a Moon Lord. And that's going to be probably the last thing that we do. Beyond that, I'm just waiting for more content at this point. And I am eagerly awaiting it, because this has been a really fun game. Something I could really, like, sink some time into as well. Though perhaps I have sunk too much time into it. Pretty sure that's it. Pretty sure that master... So this base was designed in order to protect the PAL box. But honestly, getting down there is kind of annoying, and I wonder if just getting... And, like, the boss will get stuck around there, too, and I honestly wonder if just finding a nice big open flat area would be better. Like, this PAL box can take a beating. I went through 2 fights with the Xenolord, where I just stood back and let him repeatedly attack the PAL box, and it's at, like, it's still over half durability. Like, I don't know if the PAL box's health got buffed. Okay, I only have so much ammo for this, but we're going to see what happens. Let's also summon a heck ton of pals. I have no idea what element Moonlord is. I actually don't think Moonlord has an element. We're fighting him on Xenolord. Let's go! Open your eye. Oh, jeez. Heckin' killed him. Oh, they're all dead. They are all heckin' dead. Wow. Ah, and then I died. That's rough! I like look the camera around. I want to see can't hear what's going on. Just a lot of dead bodies around. How do you even make a pal that can survive that? I mean, I'm pretty sure this Moonlord is the hardest fight in the game right now. Leveling up my whole... Everybody that I summoned was 65. Like, the only one that wasn't was Xenoloord. Hey, can you take them to the... Right, they can just keep sleeping for a second. Like, I couldn't even summon everybody before I got killed. Hey, why you two sleeping? Oh, they're upset. Oh wait, no, we need to res you too. Oh heck. Can you take him in there for me? Thank you, Catris. You're the best. Yeah, that was rough. Wait, why is there still a timer going down? Is the raid still active? Oh, heck, it is. I'm about to die again. I got his head eye down to like half though. Wait, can I just respawn here? Heck yeah, let's go. There, now I can see. What do you have to load? I'm right here. Open wide. I'm at least killing that middle eye. Heck yeah! Okay, I don't think I can hurt that. I think it's just there to be annoying. Yeah, that was like a third of his health because I took out one of them. You know, maybe that's more doable than I thought. You just gotta die a lot. You're fighting them at base, just res in base. I think especially if you were playing multiplayer. Get like one person on res duty. So you can just keep pumping dudes into it. Or if your pals just die way too fast, then have like a handful of players all going at it. Res at base if you need to. I think that's doable. Not by me, but it's doable. What was I doing? Oh, right, I was rezzing everybody. Everybody looks almost up and ready. Alright, everybody, get some rest. Get your sand back. Hey. Well. Out of ammo? What's going on? Shoot! Dang it! Why did I have to shoot 4 times? What is stopping my bullets? Just get some duds every now and then. Alright, Xenolord is 65. Let's go ahead and clear out these last 2 rooms while we're here, though. Gotta remember to close the doors, and the next time I come here, this is gonna be a pain in the butt. There we go. Look at that boy. Look at that lady. How do you still only have 1,300 attack? I guess this 30% here is unaccounted for. And then he does have, she does have infinite stamina. Well, thus ends our adventures in Palworld land. Wow, that's all the way back at the start. Yeah, I don't know if that pal just, like, doesn't have a dying animation or what, but that's not the first time I've seen... You know, if I didn't have a legendary, that's a very good one. Alright, all done, all done. Thus ends our adventures in Palworld land. This is a big tree. Hopefully it's just a for now. I'll hold on, and when they come out with new content, I'll certainly come back and take a look. But for now, I say good night. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.